Hey guys, live here from Warriors Next Adventure. Just want to say hi to everybody and thank you guys for supporting us as much as you have so far. Today, my guest is going to be Elijah Best. He is a business entrepreneur and he helps other people start their own thing. So, just waiting for him to come on here and I will bring him on. So, me and Elijah, just a random Facebook ad, kind of like how a lot of these podcasts come to happen. He sent me a friend request and I accepted it, and we just started chatting. Next thing you know, I find out we're both Air Force vets. He does a lot of motivational stuff with business consulting and everything. He added me to a group and we started chatting and kind of just hit it off. So I figured, he would be a good addition to the nonprofit because he's really big into motivation, a lot like I am. So Elijah is from Colorado Springs, and I'm really excited to hear what he has to say. So, until he comes on, I'm just going to do a quick update here. So, um, August 31st through September 5th, me and my friend Will Jansen, he's the owner of DeForest Campgrounds over in Wisconsin. Me and him are actually going to be canoeing the entire St. Croix River. So we're going to be starting all the way up at the headwaters in Douglas County in the north end of Wisconsin, and we're going to go the whole 169 miles all the way down to Prescott, Wisconsin. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I applied for a bunch of grants and scholarships and all kinds of stuff to try to get some donations and some support. So hopefully Garmin will buy in. If Garmin actually does sponsor us, which I hope they do, we will be getting a GPS tracker, and I'm going to be setting something up so you guys can actually follow along live. So you guys can track exactly where we're at. I think we get like 6 text messages a day. So sorry guys, I'm not going to text you. I'm going to say that for my girlfriend and my kids or something like that. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be using that as a fundraiser. We have a GoFundMe up. If you look at Facebook here in the next hour or two, I'm gonna throw it up. So far, we haven't even promoted that yet. So this is the first time everybody's heard about it. So Elijah is here, and I'm gonna bring him on. So welcome to the podcast, Elijah.
What's up? What's up, everybody?
How you doing, man? Hey, do you happen to have headphones with like a microphone?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, that'll help with the echo a lot because usually when I'm talking, it records my voice over your microphone and speakers and everything like that. So
Gotcha.
I was just giving an update telling these guys that I'm going to be canoeing the entire St. Croix River up in Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's a 169-mile canoe trip. We're going to be going from August 31st to September 4th.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
130 miles?
169.
I'm 169 miles?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's going to suck.
That's wild. Yeah, your arms are going to be like bulging after that.
I know, right? Well, at least there's 2 of us. So it's like, if one of us needs a break, we can take a break. We're going to try and do minimum 30 miles a day.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to be too hard. His seats are super comfortable too. So
wow. Hey, bro, I'm gonna grab an adapter for the Mac.
Yeah, go ahead.
My mic in there.
I'm gonna drop you down here and keep babbling until you get back. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We probably should have had that set up before. So we're the entire St. Croix River. So me and Will met in the Air Force back in 2007 when I first got to Seymour Johnson Air Force Base over in North Carolina. And we were chatting about it. Come to find out, he's from Wisconsin. I'm from Minnesota. And so we had a lot in common. And randomly, we were talking about one day maybe doing like the Mississippi, but that's ridiculous. That's a couple months. So hopefully, maybe someday soon, when I have the time, I can actually try to knock that out too. So we finally decided a couple months ago, he printed out the map. And I was like, oh, shit, we really got to do this now, don't we? So now we're actually going to do that, but we're going to do it for a cause. We're going to do it for veteran suicide prevention, and we're going to do our best to try to raise as much funds as we can for WNA. We have all kinds of events coming up here soon. Friday, we're going to the Minnesota Wolf Dogs. So if any veterans are in the Minnesota or Wisconsin area and they would like to come up to Sandstone's about an hour 15, hour 20 minutes north of the Twin Cities. So if you're up north, come on down. If you're down south, come up north. They have a new wolf dog named Kailua, I believe. She is beautiful. She's a timber wolf shepherd, I believe. So we're actually going to go up there and hopefully help out build any kennels that they need built, and maybe build up a dog house or something along those lines. We're bringing up some food, and thanks, Margot. I appreciate it. We'll be talking very soon, I promise. So I got Brent Johnson. He's going to donate a bunch of venison. So I'm going to be bringing up a bunch of venison for the dogs. And I get to see Timber. Timber is the wolf dog that I actually got to rescue for Minnesota Wolf Dogs. They were kind enough to invite me to go on the rescue. We drove out to Wisconsin Dells, and we picked up Timber, and we put him in the back seat of the truck because their other truck broke down. So it was interesting, to say the least. I sat in the back with him just to calm him down, and me and him bonded very quickly. And he actually was sitting on my lap, and he calmed down. The next thing you know, he just shit all over the back of the truck. So that was that was fun. Probably one of the worst smells I've ever smelled. If you've never smelled wolf poop, it is not very attractive. You're not going to want to eat anytime soon once you smell that stuff. So I ended up just putting him in the front seat, and I stayed in back, and I let him chill. But we got him howling and everything. So now every time I see him, he freaks out and gets super excited. So I get to go see the wolf that I rescued every time I go up there. So it's a lot of fun to be a part of all this stuff. And I'm like one of the few people that he gets super excited to see. He growls at everybody else. So I'm like, yes, he loves me. And then we got obviously Diesel. I'm always excited to see him. I'm always excited to see Kai. And Jesus, my brain's farting. But yeah, anyway, Kai's one of my favorites too. He's got a bum leg. He can barely walk, but he initially, when they first rescued Kai, I would try to approach him, try to pet him, and he actually bit me quite a few times. I'm not afraid of getting bit. I don't really care. I try to tell my veterans not to, like, get too touchy-feely with these guys until they're calmer, but I like to help John and Kaya, get these guys to be a little bit more socialized. So I don't mind getting bit here and there. It's not a big deal. A couple bites. Never needed stitches, so we're good to go. But yeah, so it looks like Elijah is getting up and ready to go. So I'm going to bring him back on. You guys are going to love this guy. Super motivational, and I'm excited to talk to him. So here we go. What's up, man? Round 2.
What's up?
Oh,
my. Let's see. Is the mic working?
Mic's working now. There you go.
Oh, this is beautiful. What's going on, everybody?
Good, man. How are you, Ben? How you doing?
Oh, great.
So I was telling everybody we met off like a random Facebook ad, which tends to be a lot of the relationships that I end up building are just random people I add on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I saw, like, I looked at your profile a little bit. I was like, all right, he looks like a cool dude. He's found he's a veteran. All right, good enough. And you sent me a message and we start chatting. It's like, I got to get this guy on the podcast.
Wow. Appreciate that, bro. I really appreciate it, man. Yeah.
I've been watching some of your videos you've been putting out and everything. So why don't you give everybody kind of a rundown of, like, what did you do in the Air Force? When were you in, and what were some of your experiences in the military?
Absolutely, man. So I joined the Air Force in 2010. So I was one of those guys where right after high school, as soon as 2 months after my 18th birthday, I shipped off to Air Force boot camp, so Lackland. And then for you humorous ones, yes, we could say Chair Force. It's okay.
And we're both sitting in chairs, nice and comfortable.
Yes, exactly. So I did F-16 avionics, and I was in for about 6 years. And it was really fun because I like my job, because in the Air Force, we kind of take pride because we have a job where we feel like we work a lot harder. We say us in security forces, we're pretty much just working 12 hours, like just right off the bat. So
what did you do in the Air Force again?
I was an F-16 maintainer.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
You guys are the only ones that had shittier jobs than we did, because you guys had to work out in the rain and stuff.
Yeah.
At least we had trucks.
Yeah, man.
Where were you stationed?
I was stationed at, my first base was Edwards. So I was mainly a test guy. So we're always doing like test equipment that was like they were trying to roll out. So I was at Edwards, and then I went to Nellis, which is another one.
Nice.
And then I went to Osan. And those were my 3 main bases that I went to.
Gotcha. I was on Nellis a few times for the 50 cal range. We
go
quite a bit. Yeah, it was fun. I think that was Creech, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was a 50 cal gunner in a few deployments. So I was lucky and I got to shoot the 50 all the time. It was great. I love that thing.
Dang, that thing is, man, that's
Oh, it's
beast.
my favorite, man.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, like, when I went to ALS back in, I
Mhm.
think I went to ALS. It's Airman Leadership School for people who don't
Right. Mhm.
know. I went right before I got out actually, and I was talking to a couple other maintainers, and
Mhm.
honestly, man, I didn't really like understand like the totality of everything of like how
Yeah.
everybody needs everybody, right?
Wow.
Until we actually did that class together, because some of the maintainers were talking about it's like,
Yeah.
I know we're like fobbits and we're sitting inside the wire. He's like, but we're working on these jets and these jets are flying out and blowing shit up for you guys. I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, like we had F-16s and F-15s on overhead for us all the time,
Yeah.
And so it's like, dude, it kind of comes full circle and you start to realize how everybody is connected. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, man. And the same thing, kind of like while I was doing the job, I
Mhm.
then started realizing stuff like that. So then it made me feel like the job was more important too.
Yeah.
But still had jokes because we were on the test side, so we
Yeah.
didn't do a lot of the deployments. But
Mhm.
it was really, really awesome.
Well, one thing I noticed in the Air Force, you'll probably understand. It was almost like frowned upon to be proud of what you do. That
That
didn't
is
make
so
sense to me.
true. That is so true.
I never
Yeah.
understood that. Like, I loved
Yeah.
being a cop. I wanted to be a cop. That's why I joined the Air Force. So when I get out, I could be a cop. And I
Right.
almost went down that road. I mean, I work for the Minnesota State Patrol, but I'm a dispatcher.
Mhm. Wow.
I applied to be a trooper in 2014, but I just missed it. So I was going to do it
Uh,
again, but I stopped and think, and it's like, all the riots and everything started happening back with the whole Castile thing. That was in
uh,
like, I think 14 or something like that.
okay, yeah.
But it's like
For
everybody
sure.
hated cops. And I'm like, I don't want to be a cop anymore.
Yeah, it kind of takes the
I was
fun out
like,
of it.
no, fuck that. I like being a dispatcher because people are excited to, well, not excited. People are happy to hear from me because they know that I'm
Yeah.
going to send them help. You know,
Yeah.
when it's like, cops, it's just, I see the way some of my troopers are treated, man. It's just sad because they're good people, man. I know most of these guys and they're really good dudes. And it's like,
Mm,
how draining must that job be, you know,
yeah.
to try to do something good, you get one asshole who screws it up for everybody. And it's like, everybody hates you. I didn't want to
Yes.
do that.
Yeah. I actually feel bad because one of my best friends I grew up with, she just started like months ago posting how proud she was about her police officer job,
Yeah.
and we were all proud of her. And then like now all this stuff is going on. She's literally, I believe she literally just quit like very recently. She just
I
couldn't take
don't
it
blame
anymore.
her. I
Yeah.
don't blame her. I don't blame any cops who are quitting right now.
Yeah.
It sucks, because there are some shitty cops out there, and the good cops need to point them out and get them kicked out so they don't make everybody look like shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so when did you get out of the Air Force?
I got out at November of 2016.
2016. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. So what did you do right when you got out? How was the transition?
Man, the transition, shitty. I say that because I joined. I'm sure we've all seen it. I don't know if you guys maybe have heard of like someone like Ty Lopez or one of these people. So I put all my eggs in the basket of joining an online program. Like I was one of those people that saw the ads, watched it, found the guy, put all my baskets in one of these programs. And the one I did was SEO. So, I was collecting unemployment for a little bit and really trying to make this business go up. And I got a trade. So I was thinking, okay, I get out of the military. I either should focus on my trade of avionics or I should start a
Mhm.
new trade and hopefully I could be successful right away. Kind of sounds naive a little bit now, but that's what my thought process was. So
Yep.
I joined it, and then in the process of it, I realized there's a lot more to starting a business than what people are making it seem. It's
Yeah.
not just like you can do something and then now you make all this money. It's like, oh, I have this trade. How am I going to sell it? Then
Yep.
I found myself like, okay, let me get another program with money I don't really have. And then I'm like, okay, I know how to sell it. How do I market it?
Yeah.
I found myself going to that path. So when I first got out, it was a little bumpy, but I
Mhm.
found that as I did learn these things, it was actually molding me into like a new person.
Yeah.
And I feel like that person who I've become and who I'm becoming has been an asset. So I feel really great. I would say it's great, but while you're going through the times, the transition was bumpy at the time because you're uncertain on how things will turn out.
Oh yeah, it sucks, man. You have no like you don't know what's happening next, you know?
Yep.
So it's like, dude, what do I do? Like I was stupid. I got out in 2012
Uh-huh.
and I had no plan. And so I started delivering pizzas, dude. You know how depressing it is to be 25 delivering pizzas? Dude, like the first pizza I delivered was to like our old high school quarterback. I'm like, "Oh man, I'm a fucking loser." Like
No.
shit. I was happy I was working, but it's like, dude, like
Damn.
you ever seen the movie Waiting?
Yes, I have.
So after a few months, they asked me if I
Yeah.
wanted to be a manager. And
Yeah.
so I started doing the managers training and I started talking to some of the other managers. I was like, what's the pay bump? He's like, man, I've been working here for like 6 years. It's great. I'm finally
Yeah.
making like $12.50 an hour. And I'm like, dude, fuck
Oh,
this job. I quit that day. Like, no, I'm good. I'm not going to work in a pizza restaurant. That's not mine. And so I ended up quitting and working downtown bouncing full time in Minneapolis, which is not a good path, but it was a little wild.
Yeah. Ty Lopez actually started out bouncing too. So
who is Ty Lopez?
Ty Lopez, all right, you might know this one. Anybody listening may laugh. He's the guy who's notorious. He blew up. He set the record for like most successful ad on YouTube. And he's the guy who goes, dude, this is my garage with these cars and these books. And he became pretty much viral for that because he has like all these Ferraris and then he has like a library in his garage at the same time. So
okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's funny. That's funny. It's so simple. And he just became a celebrity. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, starting a nonprofit is really hard too because like, you gotta get donations and you don't make money. Like I haven't made a dime from this nonprofit yet. I get perks. Like, I mean, I use the nonprofit to travel around the world and around the country and talk to veterans, and I get to explore and, take veterans with me on all these amazing adventures, and we get to talk to each other, and these people find each other or they find themselves on these trips. So it's like, I get to facilitate that. So it's like, pretty much taking motivational speaking mixed with horrible life decisions and just taking it all together and teaching these guys, look, listen, this is what I've been through and this is how you can avoid it. Kind of like what you're doing with business,
Yeah. Dude,
I'm just on the mental health aspect of it.
Yeah, that's awesome because like I hear, people like Tony Robbins having like these weekend events. And I'm always like, how does that work?
Yeah.
So it's like I don't even know how to formulate a question out of that. Like you guys just meet together and then people just have these phenomenal experiences. It just sounds like it's something that you take with you for the rest of your life.
Well, I actually wanted to talk to you about something. I haven't talked to anybody about this. This is the first time I've ever said anything about it. Wow. So all you guys listening, all you 5 people listening right now,
yes.
I actually want to set up some sort of veteran summit. And I want to get like all veteran-owned businesses and just get a bunch of like motivational motherfuckers together and just have some good speeches. Kind of like how how Echelon Front with Jocko and those guys, they kind of do something along those lines. That's like a leadership course.
Yeah.
But I want to do something along the lines of like a mental health summit, or we shouldn't call it a mental health summit. That would just be stupid. There's a lot of people that probably wouldn't go because of that. But like some sort of like life improvement summit. Try to get a bunch of veterans who are great speakers. Like there's a couple guys that I even have in mind that I want to reach out to, but I got to see the interest in this thing first. So if I have enough people interested that would actually travel to a certain place, and Margot says we need to mastermind this idea. ASAP.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I agree.
That sounds great.
But no, we need to find somewhere we can have like some kind of summit, have like a 3-day weekend, and we can have a bunch of different random speakers, and then I could do some kind of event, like a hiking event, and we could get a shitload of veterans and everybody to come out, and we could climb a mountain together after we do all these amazing speeches and everything. Do it like on a Friday and Saturday, and then or like a maybe Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday we all go climb a fucking mountain together.
Wow.
Like hundreds of people, I'm saying. Like this would be amazing.
Man. It really would be. And
because then because then that way, Jamie would come. Jamie's awesome. But like the way I would want it to be is like I want people to gain something from it. I want them to come out with the mindset of understanding, like, listen, I want to learn something about myself. I want to improve my life, and I want to see how maybe I can improve my business, where that's where you would come in, my friend.
Yeah, man.
and then trying to get a couple other people out there with like, some leadership stuff, with some, mental health aspects, because I only have life experience and I only have good stories, right?
Mhm.
But I know a bunch of people who I've already talked to through this nonprofit that actually have done the science on this. So when I do my PTSD versus jiu-jitsu tour next year, I'm starting in Montana and then going to Washington and pretty much traveling counterclockwise around the country. And I'm training at 37 different jiu-jitsu gyms.
Yeah.
And we're going to be pretty much giving Margot, you're all in for planning. We definitely got to talk about this.
Awesome.
But like 37 different jiu-jitsu gyms talking about veterans, how they've used jiu-jitsu to fight PTSD. And I'm doing a documentary on it.
Woo!
Yeah, it's going to be fucking awesome, dude. I can't wait.
Man.
But I got a bunch of people around that tour who have actually done like actual studies on this about how it's good for your mental health. And the camaraderie aspect of it, the sense of purpose of it, because of like competitions, or you want to get that next belt, right?
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu is not about the next belt, but veterans need something to look forward to, and maybe that's something you can look forward to,
Yes.
So I want to do something like that, but like we need to get like a team together, and we need to brainstorm this, and we need to promote the shit out of it. And, we could charge something like not super expensive, but all the proceeds will go to the speakers, So like, it won't go to me, it'll go to Warriors Next Adventure. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they'd be sending me out there anyway. So, I mean, I
Wow.
don't see the reason why they should pay me. They should just put it to a nonprofit. So my board will decide that. But yeah, I think that'd be awesome, because then all the speakers could get, a portion of it. We could do some kind of raffle. We could do something, just an idea. And I think that's part of the reason why I wanted to have you on here, is because I've been thinking about this for a while. And I'm like, dude, this guy.
That's powerful. That is very, very powerful.
Dude, you could reach so many people. We could even live stream it. Every single speech,
Yeah.
Because we could try to get as many people out there for the actual experience. But why charge people for viewing it online? Let's just do it for free. You're paying for the experience. However, the people that can't make it can still at least learn something from it, because that's what's important.
Exactly. And you know what? Since I'm the business guy, I'm just going to say it. That's actually a great marketing right there. For all the people who can't go, it's a free thing. It's going to really put the word out there. Man, word of mouth spreads. And then you're right. It just makes sense if you're going for that huge event where you can just logically say, hey, I would love to pay my ticket and support this. So,
bro, imagine the marketing you could do.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, there's so many veterans out there looking for jobs. If it's something along those lines, and make it affordable, but enough to where it's actually, beneficial for the speakers as well. Because I'm all about the win-win. I want everybody to win when I'm involved. Like whenever I do a fundraiser with somebody else, I want to make sure everybody's getting an even spread, right? Because I could really care less how much funds I get. As long as veterans are getting help, that's all I care about.
I feel you, man. I'm about impact too.
Yeah,
really. Yeah.
But it's more important because you obviously listen to a lot of Gary Vee.
Yeah.
But no, it's like you put value out to people, and eventually people will see your value, and they'll come to you for certain things.
Exactly.
So that's part of the reason why I'm doing this podcast, so I can have people like you on, and we can share this value with people, and it's free.
Exactly.
And free promotion for you too.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
go ahead. Yeah.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna just say, yeah, because I'll tell you, man, like getting access to the right information in today's times is like half the battle, because there's so much stuff out there. So it makes me feel good to be able to come out here and speak to everybody for free. You know what I mean? Because how else are you gonna hear this stuff?
Oh, well, it's, and again, I've said this a million times. He's probably getting sick of me saying it, but TJ Kreitzer from the We Defied Foundation, he did a episode 4 with me, and it was about jiu-jitsu and PTSD. And he said something that has just stuck with me. So every time I say it, I make sure to say that he's the one that said it. But in the nonprofit world, in the veteran world, anybody trying to help veterans, 1 + 1 = 3, always. Because me and you doing this is going to equal way more than just 2, right?
Wow.
So it's not just us having a conversation. It's hundreds of other people. Because usually my views are probably about like 150 per episode or something like that. And then the videos now that I'm doing this have been getting even more views. So it's working out well.
That is awesome.
So Jamie wants to know what you do here. Can you see the comments on Facebook and stuff?
Yes, I can
Oh,
actually.
okay, cool.
This is awesome. What's up,
Gotcha.
Jamie?
So
Absolutely.
why don't
So
we go to, you kind of struggled a little bit and then you kind of figured out that there's an issue, right? So how did you come up? Is Vet Boss a business or is it just the Facebook page
it's a
or group?
business. Yeah, it is a
So
business.
okay, so
Yeah.
why don't you tell us what Vet Boss is?
Absolutely. So what I do is I work with veterans one-on-one, and I help them start a business consulting. So what is consulting, right? So what you might know is that like a lot of times people might say, "Oh, I'm a life coach," and then everybody completely blanks them out, right? And it's because
Mhm.
they're struggling on marketing themselves. They just don't realize that because they don't make the connection between marketing and communication. So what
Mhm.
I do is I help people find their purpose and help them turn it into a business. And that's just going to be in one of the three areas. And this is where the consulting comes in of health and wellness.
Mhm.
So fitness, anybody who's in fitness or anybody who's like almost where they want to be in fitness, but they want to have a reason to really, really go hard on their fitness, then they can start consulting in fitness or business areas. So once I teach someone how to do business, and they can start teaching other people or
Mhm.
relationship coaching. So when they go through the program, I help them, which is very, very, very important. And I'm sure you can even, speak on this too. I help them find their purpose and their passion.
Yeah.
Because once the
Dude,
person finds
passion and purpose is so important in life.
exactly, once you find those two and you have a business that is backing that up, now
Yep.
your hobby, your side hustle, is bringing you revenue as well. So
Yeah.
I help people get clear on what they want to do and then articulate it into a business. And actually, Vet Boss is following that exact system. So I went through the same process, found my passion, my purpose. I reviewed what I done in my life, which I went to the military, and I liked helping
Mhm.
people and everything like that. And then I came
Yeah.
out with Vet Boss. So I help people find their personal thing so they can back it up and feel
Yeah.
amazing about it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I love seeing veterans start businesses and everything like that. Like recently I put out a post here looking for some vinyls and everything like that.
Yeah.
And my buddy Chris, he owns a vinyl shop. And I'm
Mhm.
sorry, Chris, I got to look up the name. I talked to so many people. But found out that him and my other friend Brent, I'm sure they told me, but my memory is shit. But they actually both work together doing like a car detailing, but they also do like vinyls, they do shirts, they do printing, they
Wow.
do all kinds of stuff. And so, I reached out to him because I want to get a window vinyl for my car.
Yeah.
'Cause I want to, free advertising.
Yeah.
Um, but he's like, "Yeah, dude, why don't I make you a shitload of vinyl stickers?" So I'm gonna have a bunch of Warriors Next Adventure.
Wow.
What are those? The little windows, the corner windows on the back door,
The,
or whatever the fuck they're
the
called.
side, yeah, I
The
think I know what
the
you're talking about.
corner
The
quarter
corporate,
windows.
yeah, right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The
Yeah,
little triangle.
exactly. The triangle, exactly.
But yeah, so like,
Yeah.
just by bullshitting with him, that was kind of cool
Yeah.
to have him reach out like that. So we went to high school together, and he joined the Navy. I
Wow.
didn't know until like a year ago when one of my buddies was like, "Yeah, Chris joined the Navy." I was like, "What?" It's
Yes.
like it's crazy
It's
when you figure it
yeah.
out.
Exactly. It actually happened to me the other day. I just found out
Mhm.
when my friends joined the Marines. I was like,
Oh shit.
exactly.
So, do you have any like success stories that you're allowed to tell? Because I know certain people don't want their
Absolutely.
business out there.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna be completely straightforward with you guys. I wish I had like 30, right? But the coronavirus happened like right after I started helping people. So a lot of people just kind of
Ah,
stopped the process.
yeah,
So what I could share is I do have a guy named Shakti. And this guy, when I met him, he actually we met probably about last year. And he just said, "You know what, you're a good guy, man. And I heard
yeah,
you saying something about being laser focused." And he said,
yep,
"I'm just not focused in my life right now. So, like, let's have a conversation and see where this goes." So I met with him at his house actually, and we were talking, and he became my client. And when he was talking to me, he just kept saying, "I want to start a business and I do want a side hustle, but bro, there's something about you. Like, you're good on camera. I'm not good on camera. So it's not going to fly for me." And I was like, "I'm going to help you with that." And he says, "No, no, no, you don't understand. You have the it factor, and I don't." And I was like, "Man." And I really want to keep going, but I just want to stop there because what a lot of people don't really get is like when I got out of the military,
mhm,
I was looking at people on the internet like, man, they have the it factor. You know,
yeah,
I can never do that. And it was the process that kind of molded me and changed me. So anyway, I told him the same thing. And he, at the time, he was trying to figure out what he wanted to do and how he wanted to help and inspire people. But I think we started working in January. And right now, he's actually on track to be making $200,000 this year. So,
Jesus.
yeah. So it's pretty cool stuff.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And you know, I used to think like people that went to like seminars and shit, like Tony Robbins seminars, like what a bunch of fucking losers. Like I used to think that all the time. I was like, what a bunch of nerds. Who's gonna go to a fucking, a speech and just listen to some guy talk about being happy?
Yeah.
And once I started listening more to Tony Robbins and Gary Vee and Dr. Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton and all these amazing speakers, man, I'm just like, it all just came at the right time. Right about 2016, I started practicing Buddhism a little bit.
Yeah.
Reading Buddhism Plain and Simple. I would recommend that book to anybody. Even if you're not like religious or if you're Christian, you should still read it because it's a great book. But it really made me understand that I have 100% control of my life. 100% control. Everything that happens is a result of my actions, right? Certain things happen in your life that you can't control, but you can always control your reaction to it. And so that's my big push with WNA. There's so many different things that I fucking spit out of my mouth because I talk too much, but it's once you start realizing that you're responsible for your life and you're responsible for all of your reactions, you can choose to be happy. You can choose to make those steps to be happy.
Yes. Let me. All right. So I'm gonna just start going in.
Go for it.
All right. So this is actually the background story to Vet Boss. Okay. I'm gonna go straight in. So when I had my first company,Ganic, right? This is the SEO company that I did. So
what is SEO for folks that don't know?
Absolutely. Thank you. Good question. SEO is, for example, let's say we wanted to order a pizza right now, right? The first thing a lot of people are going to do, especially if they're new to an area, they're going to go on Google and they're going to type in pizza. So what I do is I help business owners that want to market themselves by putting themselves on Google higher up at the top.
That's right.
Yeah. So look at that. Shifted allows stuff to money is more clear. Yes. She shifted. That's right. Man. That is very good. So
Margo, I'm gonna have her on soon.
Yeah. I can already tell that's gonna be a good one too.
Yeah.
So I would help them be closer up at the top at Google so more people are seeing them and going to their website. So that's what SEO
so it's like the analytics of everything? Of like how everything is pulled in.
We provide analytics, but the main thing that we're accomplishing is just putting them higher up on Google so more companies are seeing them. We know no one's going to page 2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody goes to page 2 or 3. Exactly. So you got to be really bored to go to page 3 or 4,
Exactly. So I would help like lawyers or, get themselves. I could do like, what I'm getting divorced right now. What do I do? And then I could have my client pop up first, This is what you should do if you're going through a divorce. And then at the end of the article, like, reach out to us, And you guys may know, you can learn some right now. When you guys look up like anything with like fat loss is like one of the largest ones in the SEO in the country. All these magazines that we're reading, when they have those links that take you to another website, all those things are SEO. So in a nutshell,
makes sense. Gotcha. Yeah, I learned how to do SEO by myself, and it was not good at first. But then next thing you know, I go to Google and I type in Nick Ron, and next thing you know, Warriors Next Adventure. I was like, oh yes, I'm figuring it out. Yeah, so you can go to Google and type Warriors Next Adventure, and all of my stuff pops up. It's awesome.
That is really great, man. That is really great.
Yeah, I was losing out. I was losing out to like Wounded Warrior and all these other start with Warrior, and I'm like, I didn't realize how many businesses and companies start with Warrior.
Yeah,
I had to learn that the hard way.
You'll learn a lot of stuff with that when you start doing SEO.
Yeah. Well, it's when you start to learn the correct hashtags and everything like that, and keywords, it changes everything when you actually learn about it. Because I watch YouTube videos. That's how I started this whole nonprofit.
Wow. Yeah, man.
It's working. So.
And a lot like where I started was with YouTube as well. Literally, I just started like dumping a lot of personal development in there. And then, one thing led to another. But when I was doing SEO, what happened was, and this was in 2017, I was like, I need to learn how to sell it. So I decided to get deep and dirty, and I got a door knocking job. So I was actually knocking on doors for
man.
solar panels. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I went to the interview, they're like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "I want to get rejected." And he was like, "You want to get rejected?" And I was like, "Yes." Because at the time I would go to make cold calls and I'd
Yep.
make like one call in an hour. Literally, I just stare at the phone like, and this is what I'm saying about the whole it factor thing. You know, I went
Yeah.
through my trials and tribulations. But anyway, what happened was when I was in sales, people kept coming to me and they were saying, I'm struggling with this problem or this problem. And what I started realizing, and this is how it connects to what you were saying about like we can choose whether we want to react and how we want to respond to things.
Yeah.
I started paying attention to my thoughts,
Yeah.
right?
Mindset is
And
everything, man.
yeah, and I was like, when people say this, I go into this thought pattern. And then after like a couple months, I started realizing I can change this thought pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally just started playing with how I'm hearing things, how I'm responding, and
Yeah.
that led to a whole. It just started opening, you know, doors and rabbit holes. Like for example, I learned that our emotions control our actions. So
Yep.
if we can't control our emotions, then we literally can't control our actions. And then I learned there's something called emotional intelligence. And in order to control our emotions, it's easier if we can identify them, but we only use like happy, sad, angry,
Yeah.
fearful, but there's like 100 different words. So just when you like look at a chart, you get more control over yourself. So I just started learning a whole bunch of these things. And yeah, that's actually what inspired me because I was writing a book called The Brain Manual. And I
Oh,
was
really?
going to teach people how to use their minds. And then that's when I met a mentor and he was like, no, 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 no. You're not going to be successful that way. you gotta market it a little differently. And
Yeah.
that's how I came up with Vet Boss. So
Okay.
I'm helping people do businesses, but in that process, I'm sure you know, mindset go. You
Yeah.
can't be successful in a business without mindset. It's one of those elements that a lot of people
Oh,
don't, include.
yeah, for sure. You need to have the right mindset at all times. I mean, if I like do a podcast, if
Yeah.
I'm like tired as shit during a podcast,
Mhm.
it's not going to be as good. It'll be okay, I'm
Yeah.
sure, but it's not going to be what I want it to be. Like I want people to listen to it and I want them to laugh and I want them to learn something and I want them to feel something from it, right? If I'm
Yeah.
just sitting there like, yeah, I'm just tired. I don't want to be here. Nobody's going to listen to that shit.
Right.
You have to be enthusiastic. You have to like share, you have to talk more. And like when I first started podcasting,
Yeah.
there was a lot of people that would send me like messages and stuff like, bro, you're really boring. Like, hey, fuck you, dude. and then I go back and listen. I was like, damn, I'm boring as shit. So it's like, all right, I need to start being more animated and just being myself and who I really am rather than doing the whole nervous, podcast thing.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, now that you mentioned that, I'm gonna just kind of tell people what I found because on the
Yeah.
journey, I would invest money. I'm like, dang it, I got marketing, but I need sales. So like, dang it, I got sales, but So I found out that this is what you need: product, good product, right, or
Yeah.
service. You have to have your marketing. You have to have your sales, and you
Mhm.
have to have your systems. Now,
Yeah.
systems goes with mindsets, goes with how do you find your purpose because you got to be able to like pinpoint it all the time. And then
Yep.
the last one is self knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You got to be aware of yourself and all these things. So when I hear you talking about this, it just
Yeah.
makes me excited because I think what's really important, and I think you can agree to, is authenticity. Like
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you
You have to
actually
have
like what you're doing,
like you
yeah,
said, you have to have that it factor.
yeah. Yeah. And when you're like really into what you're doing and you really,
Mhm.
really love it, then you can present yourself as yourself. But I think what a lot of people struggle with is like they may get into something that they don't really like. So
Yeah.
when they're interacting with people, deep down in them, they don't feel like themselves. So it's hard for them to even tap into that authenticity. I think that's what scares a lot of people away from business because they're like, man, I've started something before, but I wasn't really passionate about it. So I
Yeah.
think I think that's a big part. So you got to really find what you love.
Yeah, dude, if you don't have passion for what you're doing, people are gonna see it and they're gonna see you're full of shit. That's so important,
Yeah.
because if when I go into a room and I start talking about WNA,
Yeah.
everybody in that room is gonna hear me talking because I'm going to be so fucking passionate and so excited about what I'm talking about. It's
Yeah.
gonna draw people in, and I promise you that will happen, and it
Yeah.
does happen. And I'm sure I'm annoying as shit to a lot of people, but I don't care,
Yeah. This
because
podcast is great, bro. Like this
what?
project is really great. This is
Thank
great.
you. I
Yeah,
appreciate it,
seriously.
man.
Yeah.
And it sells itself, man, especially like when I get vets who actually come on these trips with me and they
Mhm.
have a great fucking time and they go tell everybody about it. It's like, dude, check out Where's Next Adventure. This was
Yeah.
awesome, right? So a
Yeah.
lot of it is word of mouth, but then of course I market the shit out of this on, YouTube, Facebook, everything. I market
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. The word of
But
mouth is very powerful.
yeah, well, that organic growth is
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
Because that's the true authentic growth, because then you're actually getting people who 100% support you, telling other people that will
Yes.
eventually 100% support you. It's awesome.
Yes.
I love the way it works.
Actually, I can give you your audience a cool catchphrase for that. We call it intimacy over authority. So
Yes,
a lot of
you did a video on that the other day. It was great. Get into that.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of us are also scared to start a business because we're like, dude, I'm not Tony Robbins. Like, who's gonna fuck with me? Like, I'm just some
Yeah.
guy starting some shit, But what we don't realize is once you're able to niche down and people take you seriously because you have a niche, right? You need one of those. What happens is
Yeah.
people are always willing to work with someone who they know. Because if they know someone, or if someone's saying, hey, Nick is great at what he does, and if you're friends with that person, you're going to take their word over anyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
So intimacy over authority all day. As long as you're a genuine person and you're actually trying to help people, and you just start opening your mouth, naturally people are going to refer people to you because they're going to really
Yeah.
like you. You're going to see you're serious about it, and people
Wait.
love referring people to good services.
Yeah, well, it's hard for people to buy into what like when I first got started, it was
Yeah.
really hard for me to get donations because
Mhm.
people are like, "Who's this asshole?"
Yeah.
So it's like when I finally started sharing my story and people started hearing the things that I've been through and what I've been doing to help other veterans, they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh shit, that's powerful,"
Yes.
and people start seeing what it's doing, right? So this whole
Yeah.
thing, this thing isn't about me, right? Yes,
Right.
I'm the face of it and I'm the one talking all the time. However, all of the attention is going to Warriors Next Adventure. At least that's where I want it to go.
Yeah.
Because the bigger this nonprofit gets, everything else is going to grow as well, right? So
Mhm.
eventually, yes, I would like to make this big enough to where I could justify a salary, right? Not
Yes.
like some, not a knock against them, but not like Wounded Warrior. I want to make sure the majority of the proceeds are going towards helping veterans and making sure these guys are getting what they need. But in order to do that, I need to somehow free up my time eventually, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to come from some big donations, right? So
Yeah.
I'm pushing for people who are might have a little bit more to donate and trying to get in front of those people. All I need is to get in front of these people, man, and just give me 20 minutes, and I promise you I'll make you feel something.
Wow, that's powerful, man. And what is something I've seen, and what I love about meeting great people like yourself, when someone's like
Oh,
an
thanks, man.
advocate, yeah, for sure. When someone's like an advocate for a cause,
Yeah.
as long as it's good, people will get behind it.
Oh,
And
exactly.
man, I just love it, man, because you can just see how genuine you are. When you're aligned with your vision, purpose, you'll attract your community of followers through synchronicity. Love it,
That's perfect.
love it. You
Yeah.
got a beautiful crowd, man.
Well, Margot reached out. I put a bunch of posts out about getting people on the podcast, and
Yeah.
she's one of the ones that reached out, and we've been chatting here and there. So I have like 65 people in line for podcasts. It's
Wow.
yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot here. I'm trying to do it every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for sure.
Yeah.
Throw one in Thursday occasionally, but it depends. But yeah, like the second that I heard you talking, man, I'm just like, this is the kind of motivation I want people to see and I want people to hear, because you took essentially nothing
Yes.
and turned it into something,
Yeah.
because my friend Oren is the president of LEAP. It's Life
Mhm.
Enhancement Audiovisual Program. He's the one that got me into videography, and
Oh, wow.
me and him actually started a podcast.
Mhm.
So he said something once that thoughts are things, right?
Yes.
Literally all you have to do and to make it into a real, like, in something you can touch, you have to
Yes.
grab it, right? Those thoughts are in the air at all times, and it's up to you to grab them out of the air and mold it into something that you can touch
Ooh.
and you can see and you can feel. Like
Yes.
this thing right here, this flag, when
Yeah.
this flag got shipped to my house, dude, I
Yeah.
fucking cried. I cry all the time now. I'm such a bitch now. Like, dude, I'm a strong person, and like sad things happen all the time, and I'm just like, man, it sucks, right?
Yeah.
But then I get a veteran send me a message, be like, "Hey man, I really needed to hear that last night," or like, "Hey man, that might have saved my life," and I'm like, I'm so glad we're not in person right now.
Yes.
But
Man.
I dropped my mic out. Sorry.
It's okay.
But no, like I just it's such an emotional thing that I'm doing. And, just yesterday or earlier today, one of the veterans who I chat about, and I asked him if I could talk about it a little bit and share it on my Facebook
Yeah.
page. He sent me we were chatting, and I've been wood burning my symbol onto like these little pieces of birch, right?
Yeah.
And so it's using like a soldering iron. I
Yeah.
was just bored, and he saw it. I posted on Facebook. He's like, "Hey man, can I have that?" And I was like, "Sure." I was like, I didn't think anybody would want this thing,
Yeah.
So I mailed it out to him, and I hand carved a quote that helps me during certain times. I hand carved that quote on there,
Yeah.
and I sent him a coin and a few other things. I said, "Hey man, just we're always here for you." And he posted it on Facebook, and he said thank you, and he's like, this might have saved my life, and I'm like, what's a better reward than that? The money can't buy that.
Cannot.
So with me talking with the passion that I do and sharing these stories and talking about how veterans just need something to fucking hold on to. And
Yes.
I wrote an article the other day called Time Management Equals Happiness. And one of the things I said in there is the main thing that veterans need is something to hold on to. We need some sort of sense of purpose, even if it's something small. If you can't
Yeah.
hold on for yourself, hold on for your kids. If you can't hold on for your kids, hold on for your wife, hold on for your veteran
Exactly.
buddies, the ones who don't want to go to your fucking funeral, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather have you call me sobbing, interrupt my sleep, rather
Yeah.
than find out that you're dead,
Yeah, man.
And so that's why this is so powerful. And, anything dealing with suicide is going to have some power to it. But when you have somebody, again, I feel like a douche saying this, but when you have somebody like me who is so fucking passionate about this, and I will die doing this, I'm going to die on this fucking hill right here. And my job is, what Zach McGuffrey said from 22 until Valhalla, my job is to go out of business. I don't want anybody to need me. If I can achieve that, then there'll be no more veteran suicides.
I love that. You got the fire, bro.
But I've had so many amazing people help me along the way, man, and you're one of them. So it's just initially meeting you the other day, I'm like, fuck yeah, I need more people like this.
Yeah, man.
So we went way off on a tangent. So you sold your initial company, and then you decided to start Vet Boss. What led you to decide to start Vet Boss?
Yeah, so just for clarity, I still actually collect from a client who's in SEO. Forgot the word for a second. So I still have some SEO clients. And what made me? I'm sorry, your question was what made me start Vet Boss?
Yeah, what led you to start Vet Boss?
Oh yeah, yes. So I love it. So I was working as solar, and the thing is, when they saw me at the solar place, mind you, I came in there to get rejected. I just wanted to knock on doors. That's really all I wanted to do. What happened was within about 2 or 3 weeks, they're like, no, you need to be in sales. And I was like, sure, why not? The thing is though, they started having me talk to all the other marketers, and I would talk about the story of Mike Tyson. There's this guy named Buster Douglas, and and his mom died, and right before she died on her deathbed, she was like, I want you to beat Mike Tyson. Next thing you know, Buster Douglas just knocks him out.
Bro, it was like 2 days later.
2 days later?
No, it was close. I don't know the exact distance, but it was like within that weekend she died, and he actually fucking beat Mike Tyson.
It's crazy.
Mike Tyson was unstoppable at the time, man.
I still watch those videos of people's whole necks just shaking when they get hit. So so I would just tell stories, and to me, I was just being myself. There's this episode of The Simpsons, and it says when you've done something right, it should feel like you did nothing at all. And people coming back to me and saying, man, the stuff you said during the morning meeting really changed my life. I feel like I'm on track. And what would happen is I'm a person who's about family time, but I would be so into my coworkers that I'd be on the phone at 11 o'clock after work. Man, you got this, da, 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 da. And I would just keep telling my wife, oh, you have money on that fight?
Steve makes nice. Awesome.
Yeah, so I would be telling my wife all the time, man, if I could just help people full time, and oh my gosh, this is going to connect to what you said about taking the thoughts out of the air. So this is actually while I'm writing the brain book, right? And I feel like a lot of us in the military are. We're just hardcore people. So I'm over here writing a brain book, and I'm like, wait, Elijah, if you want to do this full time and you're telling people they could do anything that they put their minds to, and you have this crazy idea of working full time, only doing exactly what you love and filtering out everything else, which had to do with time management, which really brought me happiness. I just decided to do it. So you know what I did? Yes. So I watched this video on YouTube, and it was like, if you want to get your goals accomplished, burn the ships. You know?
Yes, yeah. Tony Robbins says that the best way to take a village or best way to take an island is to burn the ships, because then there's no way back.
Absolutely. So
yeah, you got to dive in, man. I call it jumping into the fog. Right, you're standing up on a cliff. Standing up on a cliff, man. Next thing you know, just fuck it, just jump, because who knows? You might jump into jagged rocks, but you might jump into a pool.
Yeah, it feels like that, seriously.
Yeah.
So I just decided to say F it. And I'm a person, I'm sure we all feel like we have reputations to protect. Something told me that if I went on social media while I had a job, and I pull out my phone and say, hey, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to come up with $7,000 in a month. Now I have to do it. So here's the crazy thing. Something came in my consciousness and it was like, no, fuck that. $70,000. And I was like, no, come on. I mean, I was literally shaking. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. And something was just like, my heart started pounding. And it was like $70,000, $70,000. So I did it. I went and I was like, I just quit my job. It's your boy. I'm going to come up with $70,000. Give me 2 months. And, my mom reaches out to me. She's like, what did you just do? Like all these people like really like you, Elijah. Like, you don't want to just do things like that with your reputation. She came from a very solid point,
Yeah. Parents are usually pretty good at that, at like kind of reeling you back in. But sometimes you got to look at it and be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah. When I told people I was starting a nonprofit, they're like, you're what? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start a nonprofit. They're like, okay, good luck. But then when I really started talking about it and I started the GoFundMe, I said, look, this is what's gonna happen. Yeah. Bro, I got like $900 donated in like 3 days.
Dang.
And yeah, that's all I needed to get started.
Dang.
Yeah.
Look at that. And I struggled with this too. A lot of times when you start something up, you really want your family to be like gung-ho about it because you are. And from the way I learned is like, it kind of just doesn't work that way. It's like,
sorry to break the news to anybody who's ready to start something. Everyone you love will tell you not to do it. Tell them to fuck off. I mean, don't say that, but just do it. Do it. If it feels right, jump off the cliff, man. Jump into the fog.
Yes. So, I mean, that times 1,000. And they're doing it to protect you. That's the worst thing. That's the perfect recipe for a heated conversation. Someone who really cares about you and they feel like it's their duty to stop you for love. And you, on the other hand, where you feel like it's your duty to accomplish whatever purpose it is. So just if you find yourself in that situation, recognize and appreciate their love. Try to see that and see their support from there. Because the worst thing you can feel is feeling like, man, no one supports me. And you're on your own. That is a very dark place to go into when you're trying to start up.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, the best thing I did was not listen to anybody. I was like, fuck it. What's the worst that could happen? Go bankrupt? I can make more money. I had an apartment I had to pay, and I was just like, screw it. I was like, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do with my life, and I'm in charge now. 2018 was big for me because I got that TBI, and so my fight dreams were over.
Wow, I didn't know.
I was an MMA fighter, and I was ranked number 3 amateur welterweight in Minnesota.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I ended up getting knocked out June 1st, 2018, and I got a TBI, and my fight dreams were over. 3 weeks later, my wife left me.
Whoa,
so,
damn, bro.
She got her green card and left 3 days later. So that sucked. I was not in a good place. Yeah, but yesterday I did a podcast with Christian Reed, and he hiked the Appalachian Trail, and he was doing it in 2018, and I saw his videos and everything. I'm like, man, I miss hiking. So I was like, fuck it. A couple weeks later, I ended up going, I went and climbed Eagle Mountain, which is the highest peak in Minnesota. It's not it's like 3 miles and it's like 300 feet. It's not bad. It's a very nice hike. And then a couple weeks later, I went to Sturgis and I drove out to South Dakota during the rallies and during the Sturgis motorcycle rallies. Dude, it was amazing. I climbed like 3 mountains out there. I went to the I think it's called Animal Land USA or something like that. I don't remember. It's like an animal park you drive through. I ended up getting hammered and accidentally partied with the Hells Angels one night. It was great. I woke up in my car and I'm like, whoa, how did this happen? You know, I don't drink anymore, but I have a lot of fun stories from when, you know, I call him Bob. When I drink too much and I black out, Bob comes out. So I don't drink anymore because I make stupid decisions. But it was so fun. And I went to Florida and then I bought a ticket to Hawaii and I'm like, man, fuck this. I'm going to do whatever I want. But I met so many veterans on that way. I'm just like, why am I not helping veterans? I was like, I feel like I found the key and I'm happy. And I started this nonprofit and I haven't felt depressed since February 8th, 2019. That's the day that was like, I think the third day that I was in Hawaii. I had an awakening and I'm just like, man, I'm going to choose to be happy the rest of my life. This is so beautiful. You ever been to Oahu?
No, I've never been to Hawaii.
Go to Oahu. Don't stay at resorts.
Okay.
Get a fucking tent and sleep on the beach. Literally travel the outer ring of the island and sleep on a different beach every night. It is the most beautiful, most rewarding thing I've ever done with my life.
That is going on the, like, seriously. Like, I'm going to try to do that within 2 years. Yeah.
That's how I came up with Warrior's Next Adventure. Literally on an island camping on the beach. Man. It was amazing.
Man.
You know.
And you know what?
But I came back and I just jumped. Fuck it.
The thing I love about that was when I quit my job, the first thing I thought I was going to do is I thought I was going to like work like 24 hours a day. That was my plan. And something came over me and it was like, no, bro, just spend time with your wife.
Yeah.
And it was so counterintuitive, but I really made my decision to focus on what I felt like I needed to do. And naturally, just all these thoughts and ideas and just learning about myself, it kind of felt like a journey or an awakening. And then Vet Boss came out of that. So I almost feel like
you just out of nowhere. How did the name exactly come out? Did some specific happen or?
So with Ganic, I actually use marketing methodology that I learned from Steve Jobs, which is, you know, you want to teach people a culture basically in your marketing. So like, for example, Nike, right? They say Nike, which is a word that you don't associate with anything, but you do because every time you see a commercial, they show athletes. So you associate Nike with athletes. So with Apple, you know, they would show like the innovative, not teen, but maybe someone in their 30s, late 20s, who's like, you know, the professional who's using, you know, computers for music, or maybe the nurse is using it for whatever they got to do. So with Ganic, I was thinking I was into organic marketing because everybody's like wasting their money on ads. That's a conversation maybe we could get into. So I was into organic marketing. So that's what I wanted to use for that. But for Vet Boss, I wanted something because you know, when I really started getting the vision of finding veterans who have passions, who want to be leaders, and also I feel like you said, it's kind of like we want to hold on to something. Like when we join the military, there's an amazing sense of purpose that we feel. And what I remembered was when I was in the military, I wanted to be a boss, but it was more than just being a boss. I wanted to inspire and stuff like that. So I wanted people to have that title. So when I came up with Vet Boss, it was really so veterans can refer to themselves as Vet Boss. What happened was in my videos, when I was just being natural, I was saying my name is Elijah Best, also known as Vet Boss. That just kind of happened. So I then became Vet Boss. But what do you guys think about this idea? I should ask you guys. What I've been thinking about doing was creating an idea to where I call people super soldiers. And by people, I mean veterans who are like me and you, who have a purpose, who have a mission, and they're really out there trying to be heroes in a sense. I would like to call it super soldiers because I think that's pretty cool. But what do you guys think about that?
What exactly would it entail?
Yeah, just a veteran who gets into entrepreneurship and they're driven by impact and vision and purpose and those things of the sort.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Dude, because it's again, that's the whole word of mouth thing too. Because you get enough people inspired and start living their lives the way that they want to live,
Right.
And it's just going to spread like wildfire, man.
That's the thing. Like they want to live. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because when you start living the way you want to live, not the way that society tells you to live,
Yes.
everything changes. Everything.
Yeah.
When I finally, like, I'm still a 911 dispatcher for the State Patrol. I still love that job. You know,
Yeah.
I still get to talk to people on their worst days and make them feel better. My whole job is I have about 3 minutes to make somebody who's having the worst day of their life feel a little bit better.
I love that.
Right.
I love that.
So even it's just incremental, right? I've done my job, you know, and so now with Warriors Next Adventure, I get to do the same thing, but I get to really dig into these guys, you know, and a lot of the vets that come out, they're fine. They have no issues. They just want to come chill. They need camaraderie, right?
Right.
So we're going to offer something for every veteran. I promise you that.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a couple vets that are like, man, I want to come hang out, but I'm not suicidal. I was like, dude, fuck it.
Right.
You are living your best life. You're
Yeah.
happy. You have a good wife. You have a house. You have everything that you need. You're very happy. You love your job. I need you to come with me. So I have another example of what you can be. Right. And it's not rubbing it in people's faces. It's just saying, hey, look, this is what you can do with your life.
Yes.
You don't have to be that pissed off, depressed, angry veteran. I hate that. The whole, you know, the whole, you know, dysfunctional veteran. I mean, it's funny because I got a fucked up sense of humor, but for the most part, it's like, you know, it's kind of making us look like we're just crabby and sad. You know, it's like, you know what? Veterans can do some fucking amazing things. Let's show them that they can.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what that summit should be about, man.
I was just about to say we got to do the summit, man. You took the words out of my mouth.
Yes. I'm gonna start pushing that, man. I got to figure out what the
I'm with you.
what the need would be on that. Because, dude, if we get enough people that actually want to go to this thing, like, fuck, we'll figure it out. We'll get somewhere to actually donate a giant fucking room to us. I'm gonna figure it out, dude, because it's already in my head, and you got me fired up about it. Margot's fired up about it. Steve's fired up about it.
Yeah.
There you go. Hell yeah, we're missing human connection. We need that.
Exactly.
But the thing about this summit that would be cool, man, is like, you know, you have exactly what I think would be perfect for that, is teaching these guys, look, you can be your own boss.
Yes.
You can do your own thing. And then with what I'm doing, find yourself. Choose to be happy. Choose to do the right thing. Choose to live a life of integrity. Choose to live a life with courage. And another one of my principles is pet the puppy.
Ooh, let's hear that. I love it. All right.
Pet the puppy is, I love animals. I absolutely love animals.
Yes.
I can't walk by a dog and not pet them. I can't walk by a cat and not pick it up. Like on this last trip to Colorado, one of these assholes took a picture of me because I was petting a cat and I was holding it like this. And I was like, look, and I always just make stupid noises, right? So it took like the worst picture that they could probably take, and I looked like a Sally holding that cat. And I was like, God damn it. Does you guys have to post shit like that? I was like, maybe what about me like flexing on top of a mountain looking like a king? No, some girly photo of me holding a fucking cat. But I'm like, I don't care. I love animals so much, right? But then it also has to do with life, right? So obviously it's an analogy, right? Yes, pet the puppy, but pet the puppy is all about, if you feel an urge to do something, go fucking do it, right? Maybe not heroin and meth. I would stay away from that.
Yeah.
But you know, but no, like if you see something, if something you're pulled to something, you see a mountain, you're like, God, that's beautiful. I want to go climb that. Go climb that fucking mountain, right? Go out there and pet the dog. Go pet that cat. Go out there and start that business. Go buy that car. Whatever you think is going to make you happy, do it. You know, because you think about it, monetary stuff, it's only around for a while. You know, if you're worried about spending an extra couple $100 and you're like, oh God, it's going to break the bank, you know, but you know that, you know, I say spend money on experiences. I don't like to spend money on things. The only thing that I really spend money on is if it's for the nonprofit. For myself, man, I haven't bought clothes for myself. Like, I think I bought a swimsuit this year. I bought some shoes last year. Like, I don't really buy shit for myself because I don't need it. I'm such a minimalist.
I'm learning that right now. Like more and more every day.
You're so much happier with less things, right?
Yeah,
so I save my money. I don't ever have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money at all, but I don't have any debt, and I spend my money on experiences. Like when I went to Hawaii, I could have used that money for so many things. I was in debt, but I was like, fuck it. I need a trip. I need to escape. I need to see something new. And I pet the puppy and I went to fucking Hawaii. I also went to Florida too. But that was a good time. But yeah, and then I started the nonprofit. And I was like, hey, I want to go climb this mountain. I'm going to take veterans with me. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to get these guys in this fucking mindset and I'm going to mind fuck them into being happy. And we're going to have fun. We're going to talk shit. We're going to talk about weird stuff, but we're also going to talk about deep issues that are really hurting us, the underlying issues that are causing PTSD. We're going to talk about this shit and we're going to re-record over that by climbing the mountain. So every time you think about this certain thing, you're going to think about us on that mountain talking, and that memory, that flashback is going to be a little easier to process.
Dude, that is genius. That is genius. I love it. I love it. Yes.
You have to do everything in life. I mean, the reason why I explore everything is one of my slogans. Is I found it painted on a guard tower in Hawaii. I saw it and I was like, yes, explore everything, right? If you're feeling suicidal, stop and write down a list of things you've always wanted to do and pet the puppy. Go do it.
Puppy. That is amazing, bro. And how do you feel like once you have an idea like that, that's kind of, it sounds kind of far out there. Like, man, I want to climb this mountain. Once you do it, like, is there a trend of something that you kind of discover that you get out of these experiences?
Yeah. So like, are you talking about like when I see a mountain and I just go do it?
Yeah. Like I guess what I should say is like, I noticed that whenever I go after something that I had on my list, there's always these huge surprises that I never thought that would come with it, but they just seem very timely experiences that I needed. So I was just like wondering, like, discovering what's in the unconscious mind it, in a nutshell, that is one too.
So usually what I do when I have some crazy fucking thing like that, me and my girlfriend took a trip. She's a badass, by the way. Like I've never had a girl who actually be able to keep up with me hiking and mountain climbing and all kinds of crazy shit. And she's just up for everything. It was great. So we flew into Arizona. We drove up to Sedona, and then we stayed overnight in some. Dude, the campground was terrible. Like there was like lava rocks on the ground. It was awful. That was the worst. But then we ended up going up to. We went to Horseshoe Bend, which is the most breathtaking. If any of you guys are looking for a place to go sit down and just feel completely insignificant in this world, Horseshoe Bend is the most beautiful, one of the most breathtaking sights I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
It's right by the Grand Canyon. We went to Lake Powell. We drove up to Zion National Park, and then we went to Snow Canyon National Park. And we were just driving, and I'm like, hey, I want to go climb that rock face. It was like a 350-foot rock face.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I like to free climb.
What?
So, yeah, it wasn't straight up. Like, it was kind of tilted. It took some jumping and some actual skill. But
still,
bro, my girlfriend stayed down, and she took some pictures and videos, and I got up top, and I looked at it, and I was like, I feel like fucking Superman. So I go to the edge, and she's kind of scared of heights, and I look down, I was like, get up here. I was like, it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. I was like, come on, baby, you got it. I was like, come on. I was like, trust me, you can do this. And so next thing you know, she's climbing this fucking 350-foot rock face. She gets all the way to the top. And I made a video of it. She's got a business called Rebels and Renegades. So we're making all kinds of awesome videos for her, for her business. So we made that video for rock climbing. She gets up to the top, and I give her a kiss and give her a hug. I was like, tell me this isn't beautiful. And we're up top, and we're just looking down, and our car looks like a little pea. And it's just, man, it was awesome. And I sat down, and I just look around, and it's like, life is so beautiful. And that's what I feel every time I do something like that. I almost have tears in my eyes sometimes because I get so entrenched inside that moment. Like in Colorado, when we got to the mountain peak in Mount Elbert, it's the second highest mountain peak in the lower 48. It's 14,440 feet.
Wow.
So we get to the top, and I accomplished something that I had dreamt about, climbing that fucking mountain. But that's not what got me. What got me is when I got to the top, I turn around and I look, and I see 6 other veterans following me up that fucking mountain.
Oh,
like, every one of you is gonna feel this, and I'm just like, I just tainted every single one of you. Now you're addicted to life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, what's that? hike time on him. Like that.
Oh, bro, it took me way too long. I actually have a heart condition. I have some issues with my lungs too, so the elevation really fucked with me. So total, it took us about 9 hours. It's a long
Wow,
day.
9 hours of hiking. That's cool.
Yeah, it takes most people like 6 or 7, so it took us a little longer. But
Yeah.
I would tell everybody out there, get addicted to life.
Yeah. And I think that like just even if you're not suffering from depression, I think a lot of us underestimate what just having the same experiences over and over could do to our mental health.
Oh,
So
bro.
I think like even if you feel like you don't have the funds, or let me not give financial advice like that, but like if you can, a lot of times we feel like we can't go to these experiences.
Yeah.
If you can, I really, really suggest anyone just going after that experience because it is just.
I guarantee you, anybody who wants to go on that experience probably smokes. Stop fucking smoking.
Mhm.
Stop
Wow.
drinking. Stop spending your money on dumb shit,
Oh,
pointless
yeah.
stuff that does nothing for you. Actually,
Yeah.
stop and look at, one of the quotes I wrote on my whiteboard. What's the benefit? What's the
Mhm.
benefit to what you're about to do? You're gonna buy those fucking cigarettes. You're gonna feel better for like what 30 minutes, and you go out and fucking smoke again.
Yeah.
Drinking alcohol. If you drink, if you drink all night, what's the benefit to that? Yeah, you might drown your sorrows a little bit. You might take away some of the pain, but the next day you're gonna feel like shit. You're gonna think shitty, and alcohol is a depressant. It's gonna make you more depressed than you already were. So just
Yeah.
stop. Put the fucking bottle down and just stop and think like, what do I need to make me happy? Because the alcohol is not the answer. Weed's not the answer. Well, some people, I've seen a lot of people do very good things with weed. I'm not judging. People do what they want. I'm kind of a libertarian. I think everybody should just be able to do what they want. But everybody has that extra fun sitting around, right? Stop going to fast food. Go to the store and prepare some meals. Actually stop and think like, how can you penny pinch? Everybody can do this. Everybody can save $50 a month. Everybody can save $20 a month. Get a savings account, throw away the card so you can't use it, and start putting $20 a month in there. Do something along those lines. And you can go on these experiences. Anybody can do it. I don't care who you are. You got a penny you can put away.
Yeah. Yeah. It does lower your vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And something I've noticed in like just like last week, I was eating nothing but fruit. I just like challenging myself with stuff like this. And what I found was that it's all it really took was me just thinking like a couple minutes more about before I ate.
Yep.
Maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, I was eating fast food and I found that it was just like, I'm hungry. What am I eating? I was just stuck in this thought pattern. But the process of me going from that to just eating fruits and vegetables for the whole week was just thinking more. And it doesn't have to be extreme, like fruits and vegetables for the whole week. I mean, it could be the difference between cooking at home. That's really what I'm getting at. If you're eating fast food and you want to transition to cooking at home, it's just a matter of preparing more. And then the beautiful thing that I found, this is my favorite part. Once you start thinking more, I always find now I'm eating delicious foods because now I'm really putting a lot of time into what I want. And it may take me like 20-30 minutes, but by the time I have that all figured out, I'm like, man, I got like a plate of
Yeah.
all the things that I love to eat right here,
Yeah, you can learn anything. And if you don't know how to cook, get on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Just get on YouTube. That's it.
Yeah.
I've been cooking since I think I was like 11 when I first started learning how to cook because my mom got in a snowmobile accident and she's putting a body cast.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, it was fucking wild.
Yeah.
But I actually had to take care of her and I had to learn how to cook because she couldn't cook. She physically couldn't. So I learned how to cook a mean beef stew. We ate a lot of fucking beef stew, but hey, it was delicious. So that's how I learned how to season. And so I was like, all right, this doesn't taste great. Let's throw some of this in there. And I just started experimenting. But like that's all you gotta do is just start. Just start.
Yes.
Eat healthier, start. If you want to save money, start. Take that first step. That's the hard thing.
And I think it definitely is the first step. And once you're able to take the first step, I think also you have to have in your mind to just do it for fun, like do it for your own enjoyment, So what's up, Anthony or Andy? Is it probably your brother? Yeah, once you're like on YouTube and you're like, man, let's say you're really into tacos or enchiladas, and you're like, man, I want to make some enchiladas. You go on YouTube just to like make your enchiladas because you love enchiladas.
Yeah.
That process is going to be so awesome. And then just because you started, you're gonna be like, wow, there's a lot of things in cooking that I didn't even realize. And then it just kind of leads into like this hobby of yours. So yeah, man, starting somewhere is definitely good.
Cooking's a hobby of mine too. They called me Papa Ron in the military because I made some bomb ass pizza. Everybody who's had Papa Rons, I guarantee you're gonna tell you that was some of the best pizza you've had.
Papa Ron.
Bro, it's the best, man. My last name's Ron, so everybody calls me Papa Ron. So
that is amazing.
I make these things called pizza sushi, and it's not healthy. It's like a rectangle piece of dough, right? And then I put a little bit of sauce on there. I usually use my red sauce that I make. Put the toppings. My favorite mixture is mozzarella cheese, pepperonis, and banana peppers. And then you roll it up like sushi. And then I make like a butter sauce, like a garlic butter sauce, and I put garlic butter on it, and then I slice it, and then you squeeze it and you turn it sideways. So you cook it so the bottom part, the cheese caramelizes and it holds it all together. And then you sprinkle a little bit of mozzarella on top, and then sprinkle with some oregano, a little bit of Parmesan, and then you cook it. And so it's just little bite-sized pieces of pizza, kind of like a pizza roll-up or a pizza roll or whatever. Yeah. But I call it sushi because you cut it and you cook it just like pizza or just like sushi.
I get why they call you Papa Rons. Yeah.
It's so good. There's only a few people who've had the pizza sushi, but everybody's loved it.
Man.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, like every hobby starts with just start.
Yeah. And like even reading. Like I read, but I'm telling you, I'm just like everyone else, or like most people. I don't like no one's, I don't know. I think a lot of people are not like, oh, let me just go read. But what I find is like if I tell myself, okay, today I'm gonna read a sentence. And if I read a sentence and I just like say the next day, okay, let me just read like 2 sentences. Yeah. What happens is I forget that I was just going a sentence at a time by like the second day. And I like picked up on something interesting. And now I just have to keep that interest. And as long as I keep that interest, I'll go through the book. But it's just about starting really small because, great story. Remember that movie Lone Survivor? I'm not sure if you've seen it.
Yeah.
Marcus Cottrell, where he got blown up, bit off his tongue. Can you imagine biting your tongue off after being blown up? And he put his tongue back in his mouth so he could save it. And then he's paralyzed from the legs down. All the skin is torn off of this man's back. But he said that he just found a rock. He had to crawl like miles because he was like miles off of where he needed to be. Yeah. So he just grabbed
a village and ended up taking cover inside of a village.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. Yeah.
So like when he had the rock, he was just like, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line. And if I crawl past that one line, I'm going to do it again. And that's all he did. He just said, okay, well, I got past the line. Let me just draw another line. And then he did that for miles. So it's like, if you don't have faith in what you're about to do, it really sucks up all your energy from doing it. So if you could just chunk it down, so much easier.
Yeah. So much You're not dead yet.
Yeah. Oof. I love him.
Well, like, you know what? I hate bringing it up constantly, but like when I failed back in 2015, I use that as fuel every single day. You know, I'm not supposed to be alive. You know, a lot of people say, like, yeah, but I was like, no, stop. I'm not supposed to be alive. So every single second that I get to help change somebody's life it's only happening because of that chance that it didn't happen, that gun didn't fire. So the chance that me and you are talking right now is already a miracle, right? I'm not a religious person, but I do believe that there is no coincidences in life. You know, so the fact that this happened, I'm supposed to be here, right?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be dead, but the fact that it didn't happen, I'm here right now. And every single day I get the opportunity, not I have to do this, I get to do this. That's that one simple thing. If anybody could change their mindset, when you wake up in the morning, I get to go to work. I get to go to work. I get to go mow my lawn. I get to give my kids a hug. Not I have to. I have to is a mind fuck, and you're going to make yourself feel negative the rest of the day. When you wake up and say, I get to get up, I get to go to work. I get to go to the gym at 5:30 in the morning. God damn it, I hate the gym. Fuck, go to the gym. God damn it, but I get to go to the gym. You know? So it's like I hate getting up in the morning. But usually I'll roll over and I'll look at my alarm clock And almost every morning, I'm like, you're supposed to be dead. Get the fuck up. So that person's always here, you know.
Man, that is just powerful. And I want people to know, like, the things that you use and the things that you say are literally the difference between me being here and not being here. Like, everything. That's why I'm getting so pumped up and I'm all over my chair. The things you're saying are literally just the things that if everyone just wrote down and just went by, just making those small shifts, that is the game changer.
Yeah,
So
write things down.
I feel blessed to have you here. This
Thank
is an incredible experience, even for me. I'm sure for your audience as well, man. So I really, really feel gifted with your presence. Literally, I
Thank
really
you.
do. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, you know, I'm just happy to help other people do things like Steve Cohn. You see him commenting on there.
Yeah.
Steve lost his leg after the military. He ended up breaking his leg, and he had such bad pains, and he had a couple other issues with his leg. They ended up having to take his leg. Recently, he just randomly messaged me on an email, and we started talking and everything like that. And within like a week of us talking, he started a fucking nonprofit fishing. So he's going to start taking veterans fishing down at Lake Okeechobee down in Florida, and also deep sea fishing too. So, and I'm not saying it was me. It's not me at all. It's all him, you know, because of our conversations. He started to think about some of the things that I was saying, and he applied it to himself. And he said, "Fuck it, I'm going to start this nonprofit." Next thing you know, X22 Adventures.
Boom.
It's a real thing. That's fucking awesome.
Mind blowing, bro. How literally these ideas come from pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
Just our minds and thoughts.
It's like Oren said, ideas are things. You just have to pull them out of the air, and you have to roll them up, and you have to take care of it. You know, like Tommy Boy, like I'm gonna love it and pet it. Just don't kill it. Don't kill it. You know.
Yeah. Right.
You just have to go for it, man. And you know, like what you're doing. I've been watching a lot of your videos, and like I said, the what was it? Intimacy over God damn it, intimacy over
authority.
Yeah, there you go.
Authority.
Intimacy over authority. Sorry, brain damage. I forget things a lot. That part of that speech, that I wrote that down because you know I'm gonna steal everything from you, man. Everything. I'm always gonna give you credit because I don't like to repeat people's shit unless I'm actually saying, hey, this person said this, and this is what it made me think, right? Because I'm always gonna give my thoughts on what somebody said because we can all learn so much from each other, and all you really have to do is take something and apply it to yourself. Like my six principles to improve your state of mind. You know, I'm not going to get into them, but I'll say them real quick. It's who do you have? You know, the good and the bad. You know, I call them the shooting stars and the black clouds. What do you have? Not just things, right? What do you have here? What do you have here? You know, I'm good at figuring things out. I can figure almost anything out. I'm good at networking, right? I suck at remembering things. You know, you gotta remember what you have and what you need to work on. The next one is accept your past. Understand that, you know, your past is holding you back. You know, most veterans, you know, I've had a few people say that they like this analogy, so I try to repeat it as often as possible. When veterans get out of the military, a lot of times what they're doing is they're walking backwards with their eyes closed. And when you're trying to get to your destination and you're walking backwards, you can't see where you're going and you're wandering. So you need to open up your eyes. You need to accept your past, understand the fact that it happened. You need to turn around and start walking forward. And now when you start walking forward, goes to the fourth principle. Look forward to a positive future. Create who you want to be. You know, Matthew McConaughey, I had been saying all the time, be your own hero. Matthew McConaughey came out with a speech, said, my hero is me 5 years from now. And I heard that back in 2015. 2015 is when I tried to put a bullet in my head. It's now 5 years later. I created this person who I am today because I wanted to be somebody that people would actually want to talk to, that people would actually want to listen to, people would want to learn from. I want to be that person that can be there for people who are in that weak spot because I've been there. Like we said the other day, you know, I jump in the pit because I know how to get out. You know, I do everything I can to try to help these guys move on.
Man. Oh, every time I hear that, man.
But, you know, and then rule number 5 is there anything you can do about your situation right now? Right. So we all have a million things we want to do. I have so many fucking things I need to do with this nonprofit, but I can't do them right now because I got to wait. Sometimes time is our biggest enemy, but it's also sometimes our friend. Because once you start to accept that there's this one thing you need to get done, but you can't get it done till next Tuesday, time is your friend.
Yeah.
Use that time in between to work on all those little things that you need to work on.
Yeah.
You know, stop thinking about this right now because you can't do anything about that right now. So what I tell veterans to do is prioritize everything. Make a list of everything you need to get done today, not tomorrow, today.
Yeah.
And then check that list off. You know, and it goes to the admiral talking about the speech that admiral gave about making your bed. That's the first task of the day is done, right? If you're struggling, you've been having issues, actually get up when your alarm goes off the first time and make your bed and see how you feel. And the next thing you know, get dressed, brush your teeth, fucking sweep your floor, do something, right? Just do the next task. Just keep doing the task, right? And the next thing you know, eventually you're going to be so fired up because you got all the shit done you need to get done. You can start checking things off that list. And maybe, just maybe, you can get to those other things that you think aren't ready yet.
Yeah.
You just have to understand that, is there anything you can do about your situation right now? If you can't, just breathe. Understand that you can get them done later. And the number one, but often most forgotten about, which is why it's the last principle, is love yourself. Understand that it's not selfish, it's not greedy to have self-care and to love yourself, and to actually understand that, you know, you need to take care of yourself. You know, with what I do with 911 and then 24/7 suicide hotline, talking to people who are suicidal, it weighs on you a lot, you know. And so the way that I counteract that and I fight that, about once a week or every other week, I try to do something awesome, right?
Yeah.
I say I'm going to do something fucking cool. So usually one of my favorite things to do is there's a waterfall that I like to meditate under over in Stillwater, Minnesota. It's like 25 minutes away from my house. I'll send you a picture afterwards. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But it's like a 15-foot waterfall. It's not big. But I take a giant fucking rock and I set it down like pretty much inside the waterfall. And I meditate with the water hitting me. And so what I tell people is, when this water hits you, that's life coming at you constantly, right? If you can meditate, and not only meditate and actually get into your trance state with water constantly hitting you and that pressure constantly coming at you, you are in a trance. You are in another dimension. I swear to God, I've seen myself meditating multiple times because you get so lost inside your own head. You're in another fucking dimension, dude. It's crazy. You know, for those out there think it's voodoo, I don't actually believe I'm in another dimension. I'm in a state that's just so amazing, right?
Yeah.
So what you're doing when you're meditating is you're kind of getting yourself into like a theta mind state. So your best ideas come in the theta mind state. So when you're just falling asleep and when you're just waking up. I can't remember if it was Einstein or if it was Edison. They used to fall asleep with a metal ball in their hands with a tin tray underneath them. And they'd lean back and they'd try to go to sleep, right? And the second they would fall asleep, the metal ball would fall out of their hands and it would hit the tray and it would wake him up. And then he'd get down on his notepad and you start writing down the ideas he had, because that's when you're the most creative. So when you're meditating and you actually get to that state, you're in that point where you're more susceptible to ideas. So that's why when I really have something that's trying to me or something that's really bothering me, I'll think about it all day, right? And on purpose, I'll think about it all day. And then next thing you know, I'll go out and I'll hike somewhere and I'll sit down and I'll start meditating and I will disappear. So my mode of meditation is to just be. Don't try to not to think about things. Don't try to think about things. Just be.
Yeah.
And if you think about that thing you've been thinking about all day, that's great. But if you start thinking about something that you said in third grade that embarrassed you in front of your high school crush or in front of your school crush, that's what you're thinking about, you know, just go through it. You know, think of yourself as like a passenger in a car. That's the best way to think about the proper way to meditate in my mind, right? For mindfulness meditation is you're just watching everything go by. You have no control. You're just along for the ride. And that is how I love myself. You know, I look at the things that I've done that I'm proud of. I have pride. Oh no, pride. You know, everybody's so scared of pride these days. I'm proud of this nonprofit. I'm proud of these conversations I'm having. I'm proud of getting you and having this relationship and actually doing this podcast together. I'm proud of setting this up. I'm proud of creating this platform that people can hear these things and they can actually see some of this stuff and maybe learn something. Maybe they think I'm a jackass. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm going to keep doing this, guys. If you think I'm a jackass, maybe just stop listening because I'm not going to stop.
Yes.
So it's all about, finding that what motivates you and do that.
That is very powerful, man. I could definitely relate because one time, like I said, when I was selling solar, I actually invested in a coach, and to be honest, I wouldn't even say I had like an amazing experience, but I love this person, and I still give her credit for changing my life because one thing she convinced me to do, because I told her I don't have any time. Like that was my big issue at the time. I have no time. I have a business I'm running, and I'm working sales full time. Like, I have no time. She was like, just give yourself time. Just go to the gym. Just go to the gym. And I love the gym, but I was like, I'm not going to the gym anymore because I'm using my time for what I got to do. And when I went to the gym, all these ideas and thoughts, because I was walking on the treadmill, but I just like spaced out. Like I just went far out. And
it's a form of meditation.
Yeah, man. And just from that one day, I could also kind of say it led me here too, because that's when I was like, man, I got to do more. And then I found that I had way more time after that. And look, like you said, time management led to happiness. So I felt better. And then I felt like I had more to give to other people because I felt good, Yeah.
That's great, man. I agree with all of that except for one thing that you said.
Oh, what's that? Yeah.
She did not change your life. You did.
Ooh.
She was a conduit. So one thing you have to understand is every time that you change your life, every time something happens, somebody says something to you that changes your life.
Yeah.
It's not that person saying it. They're just a conduit.
I love it.
You are the one who's changing your life. And that's something that everybody needs to really hold on to is if you hear something, like say this conversation, somebody learns something from this conversation, like, oh man, Elijah said something and it changed my life, or Nick said something that and it changed my life. No, we didn't say anything that changed their life. We said something and it was a conduit to you changing your life. You're the one that took steps, right?
Yeah. It's almost like we feel guilty for giving ourselves credit for that. I mean, at least I did, kind of like
I don't.
Yeah.
So like I don't tell anybody, and if I ever have, please call me out because I don't want to do this. I don't take credit for veterans who change their lives or improve their lives after an interaction with Warriors Next Adventure and conversations with me. I don't take credit for that. I take credit for the facilitation. So all you're doing is you're facilitating an environment for these people to change their lives. So I facilitated it. I created it. And you came and you listened and you learned and you changed. You did all of that. You didn't have to come.
You're amazing. The blow. Summit time, man. Summit.
Bro, we need to do the summit. I think it'd be great. And I don't, how all these summits have like the biggest, best speaker in the world. I don't want it to be that. We should do it. We should do it for veterans who are looking into being public speakers. We shouldn't have it to be this big thing and have like the best known speakers. We should have like people who are kind of mid-level like us, right? I think you're a boss, man, the vet boss. You're fucking awesome. You have a great mind, and then I feel like I have some ideas that could maybe change some people. I know a bunch of people who are so fucking inspiring, but they may not have the platform. Let's give them the fucking platform.
Yes.
Let's not sell it to some huge speaker, right? Like paying $20,000 for like Marcus Luttrell or something like that. Right. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm sure he has a lot of great things to say. He's a super inspirational person. He's a badass. I'd love to meet him someday.
Yeah.
But let's keep this cost effective for everybody. The people who come to the summit, the people who speak at the summit, and the people who gain from the summit. Let's make it a win-win-win. Why not give people like you, give you an hour on stage, give you 2 hours on stage, maybe an hour on stage on Thursday, hour on stage on Friday, and would do it for like 5 or 6 hours or something like that. And people can go and stop and listen to the people they want to hear. And then we can have booths out in the back. So we can have it kind of like a, what do you call it? Like a resource fair. Kind of like I've been to a few here in Minnesota. Just get a shitload of veteran businesses, veteran nonprofits, Get them all to get a booth. Every single booth has to pay a certain fee to actually be there, because that's how we help pay for the thing, and then help pay for the speakers. And every speaker will get paid exactly the same, including myself. You know, and I want it to be through Warriors Next Adventure because it's my idea, motherfuckers. But but no, like I want it to be, you know, a portion of this of the proceeds I want to go to Warriors Next Adventure.
It should.
But I want to take but I want to take a large portion of it and pay every single speaker the same. Every speaker is going to get the same price, right? No matter what value they're bringing or not, because everybody deserves a chance. And we can actually do this. We can, dude, I can already feel it. I know Margot wants in. You know, she's all the way out in the UK, so that's going to be an expensive ticket, ma'am. But we'll try to hook you up. But yeah, then we could do it like that. And then, like we said, we can do some sort of do like a GoFundMe, right? We do like a summit GoFundMe. And what we can do is, you know, for people that want to watch the summit that can't make it, but they still want to contribute somehow, they can donate to the GoFundMe. And then we can take that GoFundMe, add it to the funds, and what we can do is we can divvy it out, and then we can do a portion of it to the nonprofit, and then a portion of it to all the speakers. Because then every speaker, it's worth it for them to come out, because not only that, all the people who come to the speech, and it's not, obviously won't only be for veterans, it's for veterans, but obviously civilians welcome, please come, because we need the support too. You know, if we could fill like one room, right, with like 60 people, 70 people even, I mean, my mind is going like 300-400, but I tend to dream big. But let's say we get 100 people in a room, right? That's 100 people that could possibly hear something, and we could be that conduit for them to change their life. It's worth it. Dude, I cry all the time.
Like, I get it. I totally get it, man.
What should we call it, man? You guys are right here. Hey, anybody listening, what do you think we should call this summit? You know, because it's gonna be obviously it'll be like by Warriors Next Adventure or something. Like Warriors Next Adventure is gonna be in there somewhere.
Warriors Next Adventure Summit.
Maybe. I don't know. I think what we should do is we should have like a naming contest and try to get like as many people to, like, you know, try to, you know, say whatever the name is, and whoever, you know, whatever name gets chosen, we'll fly that person out to the summit.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's a really good idea.
Boom, ideas, man. They just come out of nowhere. You know what? Hey, we're gonna have a lot more conversations, man. And I think we need to get a board together. Margot, you're in. And we can figure out how we can get we'll get like a Zoom meeting together, and we can all get together. We'll have a brainstorming session. Everybody has a notebook, pad, and paper, and write down fucking everything. And then what I'll do is I'll start writing out like all the, because I'm not bad at planning events and shit now, because I've had some experience in it. But I also have a lot of people here who are really good at planning events. So, dude, we need to do this, man.
Yeah,
I think it'd be awesome.
Yes.
So I think what I'm going to do on Warriors Next Adventure, I'm going to put a post out and ask like who would be interested in some sort of veteran summit. And I think we should do it in the winter time.
Okay.
Maybe somewhere, dude, honestly, like Colorado Springs actually wouldn't be a bad place.
Colorado is amazing, man.
No, I'm serious. Like, because then it's winter and the activity, because I want to do an event as well.
Yeah.
The event could be some sort of like, maybe like skiing or some shit, or snowboarding.
So many options.
And we can do a WNA BJJ. So we could do, everybody could try jiu-jitsu as well.
I love jiu-jitsu, bro. Did I tell you I did it for like a month?
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
So do you train now?
Not now. Actually, kind of. So what I'm doing
right now, don't you train?
So I got into something called tricking very recently out here in Colorado Springs. It's huge. So basically, I'm not a huge breakdancer at all.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like breakdancing because they're playing like music, whether it's rock music, hip hop, but they're flipping and they're doing martial arts. So the best way to visualize, kind of like
capoeira or something like that.
Exactly, but they're freestyling in a way to where you're like, what are they doing? It's not necessarily capoeira, so it's like MMA tricking dancing type of thing.
Well, it's crazy. I could do a mean robot. Like I'm like the white boy of white boys with dancing. I can't fucking dance. When I dance, people say, "Please stop."
Man. Yeah. But BJJ, the thing I loved about it was I was like, all right, this guy has a purple belt, so he's like a badass. So, if I start wrestling him, I'm gonna try to kill him. Seriously. I was like, if I try, it's not gonna work. So, I can go all out with this guy. And then me and him are just like wrestling,
Yeah.
You end up saying like, man, you tiring me out. But I mean, just to be able to like know that you can't hurt somebody and to just like literally just try to like win. It's one of the greatest experiences I had, man, in fighting.
Hey, if you're what part of Colorado Springs are you in?
So I'm right on the border of Fountain and Mesa Ridge.
Perfect. Fountain has Team Chaotic Combat Sports. Anthony actually just hosted the WNABJJ for me. Anthony's fucking awesome. Yeah. I don't know exactly where it's at. I've never been to Colorado except for the one time, so I don't remember where, but it's in Fountain.
Yeah. Is Anthony the veteran that's missing his legs?
No.
Okay.
Anthony's Santiago, I think. Let me check real quick. Fucking terrible with names, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But no, Anthony's he's a brown belt, and he's got another black belt who's in there. Dude, his black belt is like one of the chillest people I've ever seen in my life. Like he looks stoned out of his mind the whole time, just chill. He's like, yeah, man. And then he's just destroying people on the mats. I was like, Jesus, it's fucking crazy, man. But yeah, I'll send you his contact info. But Anthony's like super nice guy. He came and hung out with us at Applebee's afterwards. That was like the only place open. We rolled a little bit. He fucked me up. Not surprised, but dude, it's a great place to go, and it's fairly cheap, and it's mostly veterans.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
So check out Team Chaotic Combat Sports, man. Anthony's a nice guy.
Yeah. Team Chaotic.
Who's Saul? Gosh, how do you say it? Grossuch? Saul Grossuch?
What do you mean?
Margo, who is Saul? Is he like a jiu-jitsu guy or is he a veteran? Wait for a reply for a second. Yeah, dude, what we should do is like we should start brainstorming locations too, right? And so we should have a vote on locations and we'll just choose that. We're not going to goddamn Hawaii. That's just be ridiculous. I know everyone's like, dude, do it in Hawaii. We can all go to Hawaii, man. I know what you're doing, motherfuckers. No. Keep it in the lower 48. I think some good places like actually here in Minnesota would be good, but in the summertime. Winter sucks here.
I've never been. It would be a great reason to go to Minnesota. Like I'm down to go wherever.
If you ever get a chance to come to Minnesota, man, you can sleep on my couch. I'll take you up to see the Wolf Dogs. And I'm trying to build a BJJ and Saul Gross. I don't know who that is, Margo. Sorry. But no, I'm trying to build like an actual room in my basement. So if people actually come here, they have a place to stay that's not a fucking couch. But dude, I could take you to see the Wolf Dogs, all kinds of stuff.
That would be dope. So you're talking about like the Wolf Dogs that live in Minnesota?
Well, one of my programs is Operation Wolf Dog. There's a wolf dog sanctuary. So they're all hybrid wolves. Yeah. So we can actually go up and like play with these wolves. You literally can pet a wolf.
Oh my gosh.
And feed it hot dogs and stuff out of your mouth if you want. I had a veteran donate $20. He's like, I want you to buy a package of hot dogs and I want you to feed a wolf out of your mouth. And I was like, you son of a bitch. I mean, I did it.
Now you can say you fed a wolf out of your mouth.
Yeah, what's that?
So now you can say you fed a wolf out of your mouth.
Oh, dude, I got a guy. I've been putting off calling this guy because I'm nervous, but he's a veteran and he's a bull rider. And he's going to get me on a bull here soon. I'm terrified, man. I'm so scared. But one thing I say is like, do something that terrifies you every year. If you want to light that fire in your soul, do something that terrifies you every year.
Riding a bull.
I'm fucking terrified. I'm so scared, man. But it'll be fun. Yeah. But either way, we should start looking at some locations, man, because I got a bunch of places here in Minnesota. So if we do it here, I'll find a place. Actually, Jimmy's Event Center was fabulous. They were great with me. That would be an awesome place to do it, and there's plenty of room. But then we could do like, Colorado Springs is actually a great place. There's so many veterans there. I want to do it somewhere where there's a lot of veterans.
Man, I've never been anywhere in my life, literally, with so many veterans. Like, I feel so blessed to be here. Colorado Springs.
Dude,
Yeah.
Denver, Colorado Springs, Castle Rock, there's so many veterans everywhere.
Wow. Wow.
I ran into so many vets while I was out there. It was great.
Yeah.
So let's do this. So again, with doing some shit like this, grabbing this idea and pulling it out of the air.
Yep.
So what we need to do is we need to start thinking like what the process is actually going to be, right? So you guys are seeing how you guys are seeing live how events and programs came to be to me, right? It's just bullshitting and talking and then boom, let's do it. So we need to figure out where exactly we're going to go. Location is number one.
Yeah.
Number two is how, what kind of people or who are we going to have come out, right? And how many speeches are we going to do and how long during the day is it going to be, right? So is it going to be during the day? And then we do like, we can do jujitsu at night or something along those lines, or we can do some kind of like dinner or something like that. We can find some sort of restaurant that wants to host and we can have like a networking dinner. So everybody, people who are there listening to speakers, if they want to talk to one of the speakers or hear more, you guys can sit, you can talk, and it'll be like a networking thing. And then Florida, of course, Florida would be great. But after that, we need to figure out like what we're going to do for cost, right? To keep it cost effective, right? So to make sure like we're not spending a bunch of money to do this, but at the same time, we can get sponsors. I'm sure this would be easy to sponsor as long as we get enough people doing it. We need to figure out what we're going to call it. And I think we should do like an idea submission, and we should narrow it down. And then once we get to the point where we have a couple really good ideas, what we'll do is we'll have like a vote and we'll put it up and actually have everybody vote on it. And that's what we're going to call the summit. And whoever decides the name, we'll fly that person out to the summit and they'll get a full experience and they get to just do it for free.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Because then a veteran gets to do something sweet for free, pretty much.
Yes.
I think what we're going to do though is because it's going to be for this, I think we'll do like every single person who wants to submit a vote has to pay like $5 on PayPal or something like that. So at least, we have some funds to fly that person out. So we get like 40 people donate $5. We can at least pay for that person's plane ticket out. Yeah. So just trying to cover all the expenses,
Yeah.
Yeah. We should do another talk about this.
Yeah. I'm in it. I'm serious.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't dive deep enough into Vet Boss. I think we got carried away.
Yeah, it's totally fine. But
well, what? Let's get back into it. We got time. These podcasts sometimes go for 3 hours. We don't have to go for 3. I probably got another 15 minutes. Sorry for going down the inspiration road. I mean, I'm not really sorry, but
exactly. I love it.
So, talk Vet Boss. Once you decided what you're going to call it and what you're going to do, how did you get started with Vet Boss?
I just took action, bro.
Yeah.
I literally had no idea. But I had a mentor who helped me kind of put my thoughts together.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just started reaching out I just went on Facebook and I just started sending friend requests, and it just kind of turned into what it turned into.
Yeah.
But I did follow a process. There's a whole structure. Even if you read the book Think and Grow Rich, there's like I think it's like 12 steps. It's like a spiritual path. I wish I had my I just moved here. I'm about to put like my book stand here. But there's like it's like 12 steps. It's like getting clear on your purpose. So I went through that whole process, and and then now I show other people that process. It's really, really cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy you went down that path, dude, because it's led you here, I mean, it's gotten to the point where I'm so happy when I see veterans doing awesome things, right? Like just today, I saw a post today. This guy Ken used to train jiu-jitsu with him, but he got promoted to captain at the Minneapolis Police Department or fire department, and he's super proud of that, And he's black, so he's a member of the he's a member of the black community in Minneapolis, and he's a leader, right? But not only is he a leader, he's a veteran leader. I love seeing that shit, man.
Yeah, man.
That's my favorite thing in the world is seeing veterans doing amazing things, and that's why I do this podcast, because I want to highlight people like you, and showing that you're doing awesome things, man. And then we could just us having a conversation naturally, some inspiration is going to flow out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just get down and dirty. I mean, I think one of the worst parts about starting a business is I feel like most of us start out broke. I started out broke. I was living with my mom,
What's
and
up?
I was with my wife, and we were in my bedroom. Actually, we're in my brother's room,
Yeah.
right? And and the worst part was I wanted to teach people how to make money.
Yeah.
You know, so I knew I had experience in sales and all these things, but I'm like, man, who am I to even try to inspire people? You
Yeah.
know? So I
I think that's one
yeah,
mindset that everybody needs to get out of their head.
exactly. Exactly. Because just by stepping up and speaking, you're already inspiring people right there.
Hmm.
Because
Because it takes courage to get up and
e-
speak in front of people.
exactly. Exactly. So I'm just someone who literally didn't do very well in school at all. I mean, I literally graduated high school with minimum passing grades. Um, Even when I was in the military, I had some. I wasn't very confident. Just be
Yeah.
blunt. When I got out of the military, I felt like a fuck up. I really did because I always wanted to be better at my job, and I always felt like I couldn't be good enough at my job.
Yeah.
So, me going from feeling like a fuck up to now changing people's lives and people who I served in the military, now, helping them. I'm working with one guy who's aspiring to innovate the way aircraft are made. So he joined the Air
Wow.
Force because he loves aircraft, and now he's really starting to become an engineer and putting his thoughts together. So now I'm inspiring the people that were in the military, and all because I had the courage of just doing what Marcus Luttrell did, just saying, if I could just do this next step, let's see where it goes. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So I just really want everybody to know that we all start from thinking, oh my gosh, what I want to do is so scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
terrifying. And I think
Mhm.
another thing that a lot of people need to get out of their head is like, you can be a leader in the military community without being a fucking combat action guy, without being a SEAL,
Yeah.
without being you don't have to have all these crazy accolades to get out of the military and actually be like, hey man, I want to help people, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to have that. All you need
Yeah.
is you need some courage, you need some inspiration, and you need some motivation. But you
Yeah.
also gotta have it. You gotta be able to talk. You gotta be able to,
Yeah.
get people to feel. If you can
Yeah.
speak and people feel because of your words, you
Yeah.
can move people to change their lives. Anybody
Yeah.
can do it.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And that's why one of
Hey,
the first things. Okay.
Margot said that Saul is in Colorado Springs. You guys should hook up. He trains jujitsu too.
Oh, bet. Yeah, we should connect, Saul. I'm gonna write your name now so I can send you a friend request.
There you go.
Um. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. But
Man,
yeah.
I wish I knew you before we went to Colorado Springs, man. It'd been nice to hang out with you.
Oh my gosh, it would have been beautiful.
So, oh well, next time. The summit.
The summit. The summit. Yeah.
I don't know. We should just. I don't know. I'm gonna throw out like the veteran summit or something. That's. I don't know. It's kind of corny, but we'll figure something out.
Yeah, man. I mean, seriously, Warriors Next Adventure Summit, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You,
we'll see what
yeah,
people think. I'm gonna talk to my
I
board and
love,
talk
I
to a
love
couple other people.
because like after speaking with you on this incredible podcast, I really feel like I'm gonna be scheduling podcasts and like they're not gonna do the justice to what this is.
Do you
But
do podcast?
now I do.
Oh, just after this conversation?
Yeah, seriously,
Do
no
it.
joke.
Hey,
Yeah,
if you need help getting started, like with equipment, do you have a switchboard or like a what's it called? Uh, fucking name my mind. Um, I would get a Focusrite Scarlett
uh-huh.
6i6
Okay,
because I have the Scarlett 18i20 because I got a great deal on it.
yeah,
So a 6i6
mhm,
Scarlett Focusrite would be great. Because you plug in your microphones and your headphones and everything into this, and then you
yeah,
USB it into your computer, and
yeah,
then you download a what the hell do you call these? Sound mixer,
yeah.
and you can adjust all the volumes and everything on the sound mixer as well. And
Wow.
then you just reroute how your computer is taking in your sound and giving out your sound. So you change the input and the output, and it all goes to this. But that's why you hear how my microphone is actually pretty clear.
It's super clear and warm. It's like
Yeah. So it's that Scarlet, man. It's great. So let's talk again too. And we need to do another podcast very soon because I'm sure we'll have some more good conversations. And the next conversation is have some info of the summit.
Yes. Let's do it.
By next month, we need to have a plan.
What's today's date?
July 21st.
So by August 21st.
August 21st, we'll have a plan.
We'll have a plan. Yep.
All right, man. Elijah Best from Vet Boss. How can people find you on social media?
You guys can go to Facebook groups and just search in there Vet Space Boss. So just type in on Facebook groups Vet Boss and you'll find me and I'll let you in.
All right, man. Hey, seriously, you're one of my best ads on Facebook recently, and I'm glad I met you. I'm so excited, and I'm glad you like the summit idea because it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yes, I'm fired up, and you have a beautiful audience too. So I'm glad I met everybody, and I'm definitely looking forward to the future, bro.
All right, man. We'll talk very soon.
All right, talk soon, man.
All right, bye.
Peace.